everybody? It's your girl Ray Amari back here with another video, and as you can see by the title of this video, I am going to be doing 10 ways to promote mental wellness in the classroom. I'm going to jump right into it with number 1. Make care a culture in your classroom. This is so important. If you are not giving off a tone with your body language, with your expectations, that you are in this work for the right reasons, that you are compassionate as well as passionate about this work, then students are going to feed off of that energy. If it's not present, it's not present. So make sure that along with those day one things that you feel the need to explain to set the culture of your classroom, make sure included in that culture is a culture of care. Number 2, create a spoken system. I talk about this a lot. My master's thesis was on this specifically, how linguistics affects student optimism and success. Because teaching is such a vocal art, right? The words that you speak, the words that you use, how intentional you are with your speech matters, and it affects how the lessons are translated to students. So make sure that you have spoken systems, that you are speaking in ways that are edifying, like speaking using growth mindset. If a student said, well, in my classroom personally, I don't allow students to say, I can't. I let them get it out the system for their first week of school. After that, I need a writing assignment. That's just me, because I don't feel like can't should be in your vocabulary. You can do things, you just may not be able to do it yet. And that's also associated with growth mindset. Always seeing the cup half full kind of in terms of your learning. So make sure that you're speaking in a way that is also building them up. Number 3, create an unspoken system. So I think something I found really helpful, and these tips, by the way, can be used K through 12. I've used them at various levels. Obviously, there needs to be adaptation depending on the age level that you're working with, but nonetheless, creating unspoken systems I've used at the high school level, like different hand motions or something if they need to take a moment to like kind of debrief, or something has happened and they just need a second before they come into class. They know what motion to use with me to grab my attention, and I allow them that space. At the elementary level, I have used like color-coded objects, like got a pack of post-it notes of 3 different colors, and if a student is coming in with a rough day, they can put a sticky note on their desk, and when I'm walking around, at least I can see like, oh, Johnny's not okay today, or whatever. I think these are really important because every student is different. Every student may not have the tools to vocalize how they're feeling, or may not have the desire to vocalize how they're feeling. So unspoken systems are effective and super duper important. Number 4, if possible, create a physical space to decompress. When I'm teaching, especially literacy at the high school level, I try not to confine them to seats for the duration of the time that they're with me, depending how the classroom is set up. So if it's in a U shape, I always try to have islands in the middle of the room so students can opt to sit by themselves. If they just need a day, like I can't sit around people, I can't work with a partner right now, sit in those islands. Beanbag chairs are super helpful. Or they have like these tents that kind of resemble teepees, but I see them in like nurseries and stuff a lot. But you can use them in your classroom and just have a whole little nook corner, usually like if you have a classroom library, again depending on the grade level. Just create a space that is zen, that is judge-free, that is for a moment's time and not to be abused. So make sure you're also setting boundaries on when students are allowed to use that space and how much time is enough time to be in that space. Number 5, make breaks sacred. So what I mean by this is, everybody has transitional periods, especially if you're like teaching on a block schedule and you implement a little 5 or 10 minute break for students. Make sure there are clear expectations on what should be going on during break and what should not be going on. When I was teaching 2nd grade and they had breaks, especially like after a gym or after lunchtime, the lights were off, the classical music was on, you were allowed to finish work from the morning, you were allowed to read independently, but you were not allowed to talk to your neighbor above a whisper. If I had to tell you to lower your voice, you're speaking too loud. I shouldn't be able to hear any of your conversation. And it's not to be strict, it's just to, again, boundaries are a big theme. It's just to set boundaries. Like, this is a space that I want you to be mindful of. I want you in these moments to physically and mentally allow yourself to kind of breathe. And to do that not because you're too hyper for me, but because I want you to settle in what we just did and prepare for what we're about to do. So don't frame it as breaks or silences are punishment. Make sure that you're emphasizing that silence in the classroom does not mean trouble. It's, remove those connotations from being quiet. It's a moment to prepare. It's a moment to reflect, which are all important life skills. So number 6, I love this, keep a mailbox system. So with my students, if they had any question for me that they weren't comfortable asking during class, or a personal question that they had for me, like something was going on at home or something they were anxious about, from a baseball game to a boy problem for the older kids, for a boy-girl problem, whatever, they were able to write on index cards and just slide it in my mailbox, or I had kept a little box on my desk that I keep closed so they can open it, put it in there, and it's good to go. And I always respond to them within 24 hours. And I think making sure that you are consistent when you say that you're going to hand anything back, that goes for work too. If you say, oh, tests are going to go back on Friday, make sure that they're back on Friday. So make sure you're doing your part to keep that active communication open. Number 7 is to conduct SWOT analyses. And a SWOT analysis is something that I saw used in the business sector. It's SWOT, so it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I hand out a SWOT analysis sheet at the beginning of each unit and hand the same SWOT analysis sheet back to them at the end of the unit. For example, say I'm teaching math and we're about to do fractions. They would fill it out in the way that they would list their strengths, what they feel their strengths were. That would get them to push them to further understand what was about to be taught, or they can use their strengths from a previous unit to say, well, I was good at this, so I feel like that will help me be good at this. W, weaknesses. What are your worries about it, or what do you see in yourself? Like, whether that's I don't get my homework in on time, or I'm not organized and I know this unit is going to require a lot of organization because I might be handing out a lot of handouts, or we might be journaling a lot, etc. So recognizing that. Opportunities. What can you do to optimize your success this week? So whether that's talking to me, coming to me during lunchtime, I have an online system as well for students who are absent, so all my lessons go up on a website. So I'm going to make sure that I am filling out those practice questions on the website, etc., etc. Ask brother, sister, cousin for help when I get home. Trying to do my homework before I get home. The list is endless, right? And then threats. That's where the kind of mental wellness check comes in, because the threats, I always let them know, can be very open. If you, sometimes family comes in to visit from out of town and, oh, the house is really loud, I have trouble focusing at home this week, or I haven't been getting enough rest, parent is deployed, I just had a death in the family. Like, this is the space and opportunity for me to gauge, okay, where do you see yourself to be strong, where do you see yourself to be weak, what outside factors are contributing to your weakness, and where can I help facilitate the opportunity for you to do better. Number 8, keep an essentials kit. I always try, and now there's more like nut-free schools because of the crazy nut allergies going on, but keep allergen friendly snacks. Allergen friendly meaning not just nut allergies, but gluten allergies, wheat allergies. There's this brand, I think it's called Enjoy Life, and you can find it at like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, sometimes Walmart, and they're completely free of all common allergies. So keep allergen friendly snacks, especially at the older levels. I keep baby wipes just in case. I keep deodorant. I keep waters, because students who experience homelessness, I feel, or unsafe environments, have double levels of inclusion, because it's this thing where it's not okay to talk about it with your friends. So it's like not something that you get help with unless somebody trusted can assist you. I think it's just important, you know, students who are experiencing poverty, that aren't getting enough food at home, that may not be like hygienically able to meet their needs. You know, I just have a whole like essentials kit. So like, especially high school level, I haven't had to do this like in my own classroom at the high school level yet, but I will, like, as I move on through my career. Like feminine products for the ladies, that are extra t-shirts, extra underwear, socks. Just keep an essentials kit. It's cool. Number 9, try your best to add socio-emotional competency to your lessons as possible. So, for example, like I teach literacy, but you can do this on a cross-curricular level. So, for a personal example, like if I'm teaching a unit that involves a book, I'm making sure that reflecting questions I'm asking either in homework or during class time, how they can relate to the characters, how they can relate the characters to like life applicable situations. I may have them creatively write themselves into the story. It doesn't sound like you're checking in with their mental well-being, but anytime you can get insight indirectly about how their mind works, you should. Because you should know those people that you are spending 8 hours with a day. You should know them like the back of your hand. You should know them like they are your own kids. Because the truth of the matter is, they spend more time with you than they do with their own parents for a majority of the year. So be mindful of that and treat them or learn them as you would any other intimate relationship that you desire. I think that's so important, because if I don't know who I'm teaching, I don't know how to teach. 10. Utilize self-care practices outside of the classroom for yourself. If you are not mentally well, you cannot promote mental wellness in your classroom. I'm not going to say don't take work home, because this is not the profession that we can say that. We have to take work home. We have to do overtime. We spend money that's ours and doesn't come out of the school budget. It comes out of our paycheck. We sacrifice, and it's a tedious task. Teaching is not babysitting. Put that on the shirt. It's hard, it's tireless, it's thankless often. So make sure that when you come home, you're coming home to a space that is clean. If you can, like, straighten up, get in the practice of, like, make sure you're walking into a house that feels homey and doesn't feel like a burden when you walk in, you know. So try to optimize getting tasks done, like dishes and house things. It sounds like irrelevant, but it helps, like, just to set yourself in a good atmosphere. On weekends, go out, see your friends, try to socialize. If you don't like to socialize, read a book that doesn't pertain to education. Go get your nails done. Men, go watch a game, go chill with the bros, whatever you like. Or go get your nails done too, honey. Like, men getting pedicures and manicures is sexy, honey. So those are my 10 tips. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you know when I am posting, which will be every day for the month of July if you haven't caught that drift yet. I love you guys so much. Thank you for sticking with me, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Love your life, love your girl. Take a stand to change the world. When it is all said and done, like, comment, subscribe.